So a former Clinton intern, and no, not that one, come up with a reason why she's feeling the burn, and it's a really good explanation. Essentially, it's not being negative towards Hillary, but it's being positive for the lives of all working people. So here's what she had to say. One of my Facebook friends said that my negativity is a push for Hillary's campaign. That's horse shit. Hillary's, pushing one of the most sexist campaigns ever. She is essentially like, hey, I'm a woman. Don't you want a woman to be president? She's a warmonger. She's a corporatist. She was against the TPP, she was for the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and then the Keystone Pipeline. She was for the Iraq War, then she was against it. So she's a flip-flopper. She's a corporatist. She's a warmonger. Voting for Hillary doesn't get change. It gets more of the same. And, she used to be revolutionary in the 90s when it came to the healthcare. When it comes to the universal healthcare, she talked about getting universal healthcare. So she talked about she waited for the revolution, and the revolution never came. Well, the revolution is here right now today. So if she cannot find her revolutionary roots, which it doesn't seem like she's going to go to, because she made peace with the establishment after trying to get universal healthcare in the 90s and not getting it, and we had to wait until Barack Obama, nearly 20 years later, just to get our a sort of sellout deal, which is universal healthcare, but it's auctioned off to the highest bidder for the private insurance groups without a public option. So Bernie Sanders is saying the same things that Hillary was saying in the 90s today, but Hillary is against what Bernie is saying. And Bernie is saying not just talking about healthcare, but education, Family and Medical Leave Act, and an end to war, into bloodshed, imperialism, and free education, free healthcare, free family and child leave, and free child health care. So, I would even think that he would be in favor of a guaranteed basic income on top of all that, those programs. So let's go to, this is Kate Gunthrope. This is what she had said. She was the Clinton intern, and now someone says, you're being negative, you're just pushing it for her campaign. And she says this: you know what's negative? A GOP takeover in the White House, Congress, state, local races. If Hillary wins the nomination, voter turnout will be low, and Republicans will win every elected office in the land. Republicans have been dying to go against Hillary. She is not inspiring people to go out and go vote. There is an enthusiasm gap. Bernie will inspire new people, millennials and independents, and even Republicans to go out and go vote. Bernie Sanders changes the entire game, and this is once in a lifetime opportunity. Sorry. Okay, so let's get back to what she's saying. So, and that's negative. She says that's negative. The outcome of that race would be negative. Political scientists have all been stating this for months. They're the experts. I've worked on local, state, federal campaigns. I've got experience with getting out the vote. I'm a former Clinton intern who campaigned for Obama after she lost the primary in 2008. I've worked for the Democratic Party my entire adult life and spent 6 years in Congress. My last year, I served as a caseworker for disabled veterans in our district. I went to funerals of soldiers from the Iraq War who committed suicide after suffering from PTSD, the same age as me. I grieved with their families. I saw veterans lose their home and turn to drugs and alcohol because they couldn't find a job after being deployed and injured and unable to get disability in a timely manner. I spent most of my time in Congress working with people who were in pain. My negativity isn't a push for Hillary. It's a reflection of the truth and how Americans feel right now. We're all hurting and plagued with financial insecurities. I follow the money and know how lobbying works. After leaving her internship, I worked in campaign finances for a Blue Dog Democrat who is friends with the Clintons. Bill hosted 2 fundraisers for my ex-boss, who is now a lobbyist. The American public is getting thrown to the wolves by money controlling Congress. Representatives do not represent us. This is negative, and I'm not going to be silent about it and see my fellow Americans fall deeper into sickness and poverty. A true blue liberal thinks of their brothers and sisters and not their self. And if you don't think of others, think of the planet. Climate change is real, and Bernie is the only one who will fight for life here on Earth. Hillary can't win as outlined by political experts. Therefore, it is Bernie or the GOP, and that's why I'm railing not against Hillary, but for the sake of all our lives. It was quite eloquent, and it's quite important, actually, a deflector, right? A Clinton deflector. But it's the people who suffer from PTSD with the Iraq War. Hillary doesn't have the principles or the moral clarity to decide what is right anymore. She's made peace with the establishment. She is the establishment. She is a political insider. And that's unfortunate. You know, she didn't get her victory in the 90s, so she made peace with the establishment. And so now, you know, she's Wall Street. She's corporation. She's the 1%. She cannot do what Bernie Sanders will do. Bernie Sanders has been doing for the last 50 years. Nobody's been more consistent than Bernie Sanders. Marched with MLK. MLK talked about a poor people's campaign. And he says the only way we can get rid of poverty is with a basic income, a guaranteed basic income, sort of like the Alaska dividend program. And he was also against the Vietnam War, and he was for poor people. So it wasn't I have a dream and then he got shot. It was I have a dream and now let's help poor people and let's get out of the war. And then that's when it was like, hey, you need to know your place. And Bernie Sanders represents that last chapter of Martin Luther King's legacy. So, you know, feel the burn. Billary, Shillery, fucking Shillery. She can't win. She can't win. So this is about changing America for the better, and Bernie Sanders is the answer. Bernie Sanders is our, and again, what Bernie is talking about isn't so much, you know, he does need to get elected, so we need to organize to get him elected. But once we've organized, and say he loses, that machine that we've created is going to stay there, and we can get local and state people to run and win. It's I think about Kentucky. Kentucky did the exact same shit. They went with a moderate Democrat who ran to the right. Allison Lundergan Grimes ran against Mitch McConnell. She ran as a moderate. She ran to the right. And when the voters have to decide, voters are just chucking everybody out. But when voters have to decide between an authentic Republican or a fake Republican, they go for the authentic Republican every time. Every time. Why vote for a fake Republican when you can get the real thing? Hillary Clinton is a fake Republican, just like Jack Conway was, just like Allison Grimes was. Instead of saying, hey, we are good people and we care about poor people and we're going to do these things for the working and middle classes, we're going to help with the economic inequalities, here's some programs and ideas that we want to implement. Instead, they said, look, I'm for the guns, I'm for the Keystone Pipeline, they run to the right. And every time they run to the right, they lose. And so therefore, she's absolutely right. Hillary Clinton will lose. You want Hillary, you want to lose, you want the Democrats to never, you know, you're so damn scared of the fucking Republican insurgent. There's no Republican Party, there's no insurgent. If you want Hillary Clinton, she will polarize, she will lose, and that's fucking bullshit. You have to feel the burn, everybody. This is a political revolution, and it's not just about Bernie Sanders, but it's about you and me. It's about us being the media. It's about us organizing. It's about us creating better conditions in our part of the world, in our little corner of the world. It's about us creating better conditions. So, it's a good piece by Kate Gunthrope.